Hello all, welcome to our channel English Learners. In this video, we are going to see about the play Twelfth Night by William Shakespeare. First, let's see the background of this play. Twelfth Night was written by William Shakespeare around 1601 to 1602. Its first public performance happened on the 2nd of February 1602 at Middle Temple Hall in London during the Candlemas celebration. Later, it was published in the first folio in 1623. Interestingly, this version of the play was quite clean, meaning it didn't have too many errors in spelling, phrasing, or misalignment of verses, which was usual for the time. Because of this, many scholars believe that the play was copied directly from Shakespeare's original handwritten drafts, known as foul papers. Still, a few misprints were found, and those were corrected in the second folio published in 1632. One unique thing about Twelfth Night is that it's the only one of Shakespeare's plays with an alternative title. Its full name is Twelfth Night or What You Will. People have different views about what the second title means, but most agree that Twelfth Night refers to the festival of Epiphany celebrated on the 12th night after Christmas, which is January 6th. This day was traditionally a time for fun, parties, and breaking normal social rules. In fact, during the 12th night festival, people would engage in a kind of role reversal. Servants would dress up like their masters, and men would dress up as women, and vice versa. People would celebrate in the streets, singing, drinking, and having a good time. It was all about turning the world upside down for one night. This idea of disorder and role switching is clearly reflected in the play's story, especially in the way Viola disguises herself as a man and joins Duke Orsino's service, which leads to all kinds of romantic confusion. This theme of chaos and disguise also matches the conflict between the characters in the play. For example, Sir Toby Belch and his group enjoy drinking and making fun, while Malvolio tries to stop them and acts serious all the time. His character represents the stricter, Puritan-like people of that era, who were against entertainment and celebrations. In real life, Puritans even managed to close down theatres in 1642, showing how serious the cultural divide was. Just like many of Shakespeare's plays, Twelfth Night was inspired by older stories. One possible influence is the Italian play Le Inganati from 1531. In that story, a woman named Lelia dresses up as a man, Fabio, to get close to the man she loves, Flaminio. He, however, loves someone else, Isabella, and asks Fabio to deliver love letters to her. But Isabella ends up falling in love with Fabio. Sounds familiar, right? It closely mirrors the love triangle between Viola, Orsino, and Olivia in Twelfth Night. But some people argue that Shakespeare probably didn't read Le Inganati, since it wasn't available in English at that time. Instead, they believe he was more likely inspired by Barney Bridges' story Apollonius and Scylla, published in 1581. That story features a young woman named Scylla who disguises herself as a man named Silvio. Lots of confusion follows, especially around love and identity. But everything is cleared up in the end when true identities are revealed and the characters are happily paired off, just like the confusion of Twelfth Night. So overall, Twelfth Night is a play filled with joy, disguise, mistaken identities, and the spirit of celebration, influenced by the cultural traditions of its time and shaped by earlier literary works. Let's see some information about the author. William Shakespeare, the most famous writer in English literature, was born in 1564 in a place called Stratford-upon-Avon. His father was a successful glove maker, and Shakespeare got a basic education in grammar school. But after that, he didn't study further. When he was around 18, he married a woman named Anne Hathaway, who was older than him, and they had 3 children. Around 1590, he moved to London, leaving his family behind to work as an actor and playwright. Very soon, he became quite popular, and people loved his plays. He also became part owner of the Globe Theatre, which was a big deal at that time. His career happened during the time of 2 famous kings and queens, Elizabeth I and James I, and both of them liked his work. In fact, King James even gave his theatre group a royal name, the King's Men. After many successful years, Shakespeare returned to Stratford and passed away in 1616 at the age of 52. By then, he was already very well known, and other great writers praised his work as timeless. After his death, people collected and published his plays and poems in different editions. By the 1700s, everyone accepted that Shakespeare was the greatest English poet and playwright. Since not much is known about his personal life, some people even started doubting if he really wrote all those plays. They guessed maybe someone else like Francis Bacon or the Earl of Oxford had written them. But there's no strong proof for that. So most scholars don't take that idea seriously. In total, Shakespeare wrote 37 plays and 154 sonnets. His writings are still read and performed all over the world. He wrote Twelfth Night in 1601, around the middle of his career. It's one of his best comedies, along with As You Like It, Much Ado About Nothing, and A Midsummer Night's Dream. Twelfth Night is full of fun and confusion. He talks about illusions, people pretending to be someone else, madness, and how love makes us do strange things. Characters in this play. Let's start with Viola, who is actually the main character of Twelfth Night. She gets shipwrecked in Illyria and believes her twin brother Sebastian has died. To stay safe, she decides to dress up as a man and calls herself Cesario. She starts working under Duke Orsino and slowly falls in love with him. But Orsino keeps sending her to propose to Olivia on his behalf. The twist is, Olivia ends up falling in love with Cesario, not knowing it's actually Viola in disguise. Viola is smart, brave, and very loyal. Her role adds a lot of confusion and fun to the story, and finally, when everything gets sorted out, she ends up marrying Orsino. Duke Orsino. He is the Duke of Illyria. At first, he is totally obsessed with Olivia and keeps saying poetic lines about love. But honestly, he seems more in love with the idea of love than with Olivia herself. As the play goes on, he starts becoming really close to Cesario, who is actually Viola. And in the end, when Viola's true identity is revealed, he quickly shifts his love to her. Orsino shows how love can be emotional and dramatic, but also how people can change quickly when they realize what they truly want. Now about Olivia. She is a rich noblewoman who says she won't see any suitors because she is mourning for her brother's death. But the moment she meets Cesario, Viola in disguise, she forgets all that and instantly falls for him. She is strong and confident and doesn't hesitate to take the lead in love. The funniest part is, she ends up marrying Sebastian, thinking he is Cesario. Her character really shows how unpredictable and sudden love can be. Sebastian. He is Viola's twin brother. Everyone thinks he is dead, but he actually survives and arrives in Illyria later. Because he looks exactly like Cesario, people keep mistaking him for Viola in disguise. Olivia marries him thinking he is the same person she fell in love with, and Sebastian just goes along with it. He is kind and brave, but he gets caught up in all the confusion without even knowing what's going on. Antonio. He is a sea captain and a really loyal friend to Sebastian. When Sebastian gets shipwrecked, Antonio saves him and stays by his side, even though it puts him in danger. He trusts Sebastian so much that he gives him his purse just to make sure he is taken care of. But when Antonio gets into trouble and is arrested, he feels betrayed when Viola, who is disguised as Cesario, denies knowing him. Antonio's character shows the theme of loyalty and trust, and this loyalty adds a serious tone to the otherwise light-hearted play. Then we have Malvolio, who is Olivia's steward. He is a very serious, strict, and kind of full of himself. He secretly likes Olivia and dreams of marrying her. Some of the other characters, like Maria, Sir Toby, and Feste, play a big prank on him by making him believe Olivia loves him too. Poor guy dresses up in yellow stockings and smiles like crazy just to impress her. But when the truth comes out, he feels completely humiliated. Malvolio is funny, but also kind of pitiful. His story adds some seriousness to the comedy, especially at the end when he leaves angrily. Sir Toby Belch, Olivia's uncle, is the exact opposite of Malvolio. He loves drinking, partying, and pulling pranks. He stays at Olivia's house and keeps encouraging Sir Andrew to woo Olivia, not because he thinks Andrew has a chance, but because he finds it funny and benefits from his money. He also takes part in the prank on Malvolio. In the end, he marries Maria, the maid. Even though he is funny, we can see that he can be a bit cruel too. Maria, Olivia's clever servant. She is very witty and smart. She is the one who actually plans the prank on Malvolio. Everyone listens to her because she is quick thinking and knows how to handle situations. She ends up marrying Sir Toby, which shows she is not just clever but also gets rewarded for it. Sir Andrew Ackachik. He is one of the silliest characters in the play. He wants to marry Olivia, but he is not very smart and is easily fooled by Sir Toby. He tries to act brave but is actually a coward. He mostly serves as a comic character, and the audience laughs at how clueless and silly he is. Finally, there's Feste, the fool. But don't go by his title. He is actually one of the wisest characters in the play. He is always singing songs, joking, and making fun of others. But if you listen closely, he is usually saying something deep. He works for Olivia, but goes around freely between houses. Feste shows us that sometimes the ones who act like fools are the ones who actually understands the world best. Let's see the act-wise summary of this play. Act 1, Scene 1 takes place at the Palace of Orsino. So, the play starts with Duke Orsino sitting in his palace, all dreamy and romantic. He is listening to music and thinking about love. He says something like, "If music is the food of love, then play on." But then suddenly he changes his mind and says, "Enough of it." Typical dramatic lover behavior. He is deeply in love with Olivia, a noble woman, but she is not even looking at him. Then one of his attendants, Curio, tries to cheer him up and asks if he wants to go hunting. But Orsino gives a poetic reply, saying if he is going to hunt, it will be for Olivia's heart. He is just full of love thoughts, completely lost in them. Just then, another servant, Valentine, returns from Olivia's house with an update. But it's not good news. Olivia's brother has passed away, and she decided to mourn for 7 years, not even showing her face to the world. Now, a normal person might back off, but Orsino, no chance. He thinks, wow, if she can love her brother so much, imagine how loyal and loving she will be to her husband. He is totally mesmerized by her, even though she is not giving him any attention. So basically, this scene shows how madly romantic and idealistic Orsino is. Act 1, Scene 2 takes place on the coast of Illyria. So, Viola lands on the shore of Illyria after surviving a terrible shipwreck. She is with the sea captain and a few sailors who also made it out alive. She is really shaken up, but thankful she didn't drown. The captain tries to give her a little hope by saying that he saw her brother Sebastian clinging to a mast when the ship broke apart. But honestly, he's not sure if Sebastian made it or not. Viola holds on to that tiny hope and thanks the captain warmly. Then she asks him where they have landed, and he tells her they are in Illyria. He is actually from there, so he knows the place well. He also mentions that the ruler is a nobleman named Duke Orsino. Viola immediately recognizes the name. Her father had spoken highly of him. She thinks Orsino is still a bachelor, but the captain says there is a rumor going around that the Duke is in love with a lady called Olivia. Now, Olivia's story is pretty sad. Her father passed away last year, and her brother just recently. Because of all this, she has decided not to marry anyone and doesn't meet any men. Viola finds that really touching, especially since she is also mourning her brother. Viola then says she would love to work for Olivia, but the captain tells her it won't work because Olivia doesn't see anyone. So Viola thinks for a moment and comes up with a smart idea. She will dress up like a young man, specifically a eunuch, and tries to get a job with Duke Orsino instead. She says she will sing and play music for him and try to win his trust. She also promises to pay the captain well if he helps her. He agrees, and they both leave to begin the plan. Act 1, Scene 3 takes place at Olivia's house. Olivia's uncle, Sir Toby Belch, complains to her maid Maria that Olivia is mourning her brother's death too seriously. He feels she is being too emotional and dramatic. Maria, on the other hand, criticizes Sir Toby for staying out late, drinking too much, and being careless with his appearance. She also reminds him that Olivia herself had expressed her disapproval of his behavior. Then they talk about Sir Andrew Akechik, a man Sir Toby has brought as a suitor for Olivia. Maria says Sir Andrew is foolish, but Sir Toby defends him by saying that Sir Andrew is rich, can play musical instruments, and speaks several languages. Maria doesn't believe any of this and says he is known to be a gambler, a coward, and a drunkard. When Sir Andrew enters, they joke around for a bit, mostly making fun of him. After Maria leaves, Sir Andrew tells Sir Toby he is planning to leave as he doesn't think Olivia likes him. But Sir Toby encourages him to stay longer, praising his dancing and love for entertainment. In the end, Sir Andrew agrees to stay. This scene mostly shows comic characters and hints that Sir Toby may have some selfish reason for keeping Sir Andrew around. Act 1, Scene 4. In this scene, we are in Duke Orsino's palace. Valentine, one of his servants, enters along with Viola, who is still disguised as a young man named Cesario. From their conversation, we understand that Viola has only been in the Duke's service for 3 days, but she has already become very close to him. The Duke trusts her a lot now. Orsino sends everyone else away and speaks to Cesario in private. He tells Cesario to go to Lady Olivia and try to make her understand how deeply Orsino loves her. He wants Cesario to speak on his behalf and express all the emotions he feels. Since Cesario looks young and attractive, the Duke believes Olivia might listen more kindly and be more impressed by the message. Orsino even promises Cesario a good reward if he succeeds. But in aside, Viola reveals something important. She has secretly fallen in love with the Duke herself. So now she is caught in a difficult situation. She has to help the man she loves win over another woman. Act 1, Scene 5. In this scene, we are at Olivia's house. Maria, Olivia's maid, is talking to Feste, the jester. She tells him that Olivia is a bit upset with him because he has been missing for some time. But Feste, being the fool he is, jokes around and says things like a good hanging can save you from a bad marriage, just casually brushing off the seriousness. He even flirts playfully with Maria using clever wordplay. Then Olivia enters along with her steward Malvolio. Olivia seems really serious and tells Feste to leave, but he doesn't go. Instead, he starts making jokes and speaking so cleverly that Olivia slowly starts smiling and enjoys his wit. But Malvolio, who is always stiff and arrogant, doesn't like any of this. He insults Feste and says he is a fool with no intelligence. Olivia immediately scolds Malvolio and says he is just full of self-love and doesn't understand that fools like Feste are wise in their own way. Now, Maria comes in and tells Olivia that a handsome young man from Duke Orsino has come to meet her, but he is being held up by Sir Toby, who is drunk again. Olivia gets annoyed. She doesn't want to meet any suitor and tells Maria to send him away with some excuse. After this, Toby stumbles in, completely drunk. Feste imitates him in a funny way and Olivia finds it amusing. Then she tells Feste to look after her uncle, so that he doesn't cause more trouble. Malvolio comes back and says, "Ma'am, that young man is not just persistent, but very good looking too." Olivia's curiosity gets the better of her and she agrees to see him, but she covers her face with a veil first. Then enters Cesario, who is actually Viola in disguise. Cesario starts praising Olivia and tries to convince her of Duke Orsino's love. Olivia keeps asking him questions about his background, but Cesario smartly avoids giving any direct answers. Slowly, Olivia becomes really interested in him. She sends Maria away and talks to him alone. Cesario tells Olivia that it's a shame if someone as beautiful as her doesn't fall in love and leave behind someone just as beautiful. Olivia politely says Orsino doesn't really know her, and so she can't accept his love. But strangely, she finds herself drawn to Cesario. She even tries to give him some money for his trouble, but Cesario refuses, saying he is not doing this for payment. He leaves, calling her fair cruelty. As soon as Cesario leaves, Olivia admits to herself that she is in love with him. She tells Malvolio to run after him with the ring and say he left it behind, even though that's a lie. It's just a trick to make sure Cesario comes back tomorrow. Olivia is completely smitten. Act 2, Scene 1. This scene starts near the seacoast of Illyria, and guess what? Viola's twin brother Sebastian is actually alive. He didn't drown in the shipwreck like everyone thought. He's talking with Antonio, a sea captain who saved him. Now, Sebastian is heartbroken because he thinks Viola has died in the sea. He is feeling unlucky and blames his fate for all the sadness in his life. He tells Antonio that he wants to be alone for a while because he is overwhelmed with grief. He doesn't want to spread his sadness to Antonio, especially since Antonio has been so kind to him. But Antonio is too loyal. He says he won't leave Sebastian's side no matter what. Then Sebastian becomes more emotional and says that if Antonio hadn't saved him, he would be dead by now, just like his sister. He remembers how smart and beautiful Viola was, and that makes him even sadder. Antonio tries to lighten the mood, saying all this gloomy talk is a bit too much. Sebastian realizes this and quickly apologizes. Then Antonio changes the topic and says he really wants to serve Sebastian like a loyal friend or follower. But Sebastian hesitates. He says he is planning to go to Duke Orsino's court and Antonio has enemies there. So it's risky for Antonio to come along. But Antonio doesn't care. He says after going through a deadly shipwreck, he is not scared of anything anymore. And he is determined to stick with Sebastian no matter what. Act 2, Scene 2 takes place near Olivia's house. This scene is actually a continuation of what happened in Act 1, Scene 5. You remember how Olivia secretly fell for Cesario, right? And at the end of that scene, she gave Malvolio a ring and asked him to return it to Cesario, even though Cesario never gave her any ring. That's where Act 2, Scene 2 picks up. Viola, still acting as Cesario, enters the stage, and just behind her comes Malvolio. He catches up and asks if she was the same young man who visited Olivia a little while ago. Viola says yes. And then Malvolio very rudely hands over a ring, claiming that Cesario must have left it behind by mistake, as if it was a gift from Duke Orsino. Malvolio is full of sarcasm. He says if Cesario had been more careful, he wouldn't have had to chase him down to return it. He also adds another message from Olivia, that she is not interested in Orsino, and Cesario better not come back on his behalf. Then Malvolio throws the ring on the ground and leaves angrily. Viola is completely confused. She knows she never gave any ring. So, why did Olivia say this? Then slowly she realizes the truth. Olivia has fallen in love with Cesario, which means she has actually fallen in love with Viola in disguise. Viola is shocked and feels sorry for Olivia. She remembers how Olivia kept looking at her during their meeting, almost like she was mesmerized. Now it all makes sense. Viola reflects on how this disguise has created so much confusion. She says it's sad because Olivia is in love with someone who doesn't really exist. Viola also understands Olivia's emotions because she herself is in love with Orsino. But Orsino loves Olivia and Olivia loves Cesario, not knowing it's Viola. It's a full of love triangle gone wrong. She ends the scene saying, "This is a big mess, a knot I can't untie. Only time can solve all this." Act 2, Scene 3. This scene happens late night at Olivia's house. Sir Toby and Sir Andrew are fully drunk and enjoying themselves. They are cracking silly jokes, quoting random Latin lines, singing songs, basically having a fun time, making a lot of noise. Then our jester Feste walks in and joins the party. They are all in a crazy mood, joking about being fools, and Feste sings a nice love song called "Oh Mistress Mine." It's all about how love and youth won't last forever, so better enjoy the moment. Everyone enjoys it, especially Sir Andrew, who is totally impressed by Feste's voice. They are having a blast, singing loudly and disturbing the whole house. At this point, Maria walks in and warns them, "Hey, if you guys keep yelling like this, Olivia's gonna wake up and Malvolio will kick all of you out." But the drunk uncles don't care. They call Malvolio names and even mock Olivia. They are too far gone to listen. And guess what? Malvolio actually shows up. He is super serious and angry. He tells them straight, either stop this nonsense or leave the house. He scolds Maria too, saying she allowed all this misbehavior. He says he will report everything to Olivia immediately. Now the fun part begins. After Malvolio leaves, everyone is irritated with his high and mighty attitude. So Maria comes up with a hilarious plan. She will write a fake love letter in Olivia's handwriting and make Malvolio think Olivia is in love with him. She will include stuffs like how much she loves his beard, his legs, his walk, full filmy style. Everyone loves the idea. They are excited to see Malvolio fall for it and make a fool of himself. The scene ends with all of them laughing and looking forward to the prank. Act 2, Scene 4. So this scene happens in Orsino's palace. Orsino is sitting with Cesario, along with Curio and some attendants. Orsino says he wants to hear a particular song he heard the night before. It was an old, sad song, but it made him feel better. The jester Feste sang it, but he is not around right now. So Orsino sends Curio to go bring him. Now that he is alone with Cesario, Orsino starts talking about love. He says, "If you ever fall in love, Cesario, remember how deeply I have suffered because of love." He says he is the perfect example of a true lover, always restless and emotional except when he thinks of Olivia. Viola, as Cesario, hints that she already loves someone. Orsino gets curious and starts asking about the girl Cesario loves. Viola says the person is someone very similar to Orsino. But of course, Orsino doesn't understand that Viola is talking about him. He jokes, saying, "Then she is not good enough for you." When he finds out that this girl is about Orsino's age, he says that's a bad idea. Orsino believes women should always marry older men because, according to him, women can't love as deeply or passionately as men. He compares women to roses. They bloom beautifully but fade quickly. Viola just nods sadly because she knows how deeply she loves Orsino and he has no idea. Then Feste comes in and Orsino asks him to sing the song. Feste sings a very emotional song about a man who dies of a broken heart because his love wasn't returned. He wants to be buried secretly, away from everyone. It's a really sad, haunting song and it matches Viola's situation perfectly. She is quietly suffering in love with Orsino. After the song, Orsino gives Feste some money and prizes him. Then he sends everyone away except Cesario. Orsino now tells Cesario to go to Olivia again and convince her to love him. He says his love for Olivia isn't about her money. he truly loves her for who she is. Cesario asks, "But what if she says she can't love you at all?" Orsino refuses to accept it. At this point, Viola gets brave and tries to make Orsino understand how deeply a woman can love. She tells him a story about her sister, that is herself, who loved a man so truly and silently that it ate away at her from the inside, like a worm inside a flower. Orsino doesn't realize she is talking about her own feelings. Viola finally says, "I'm all the daughters and sons of my father's house," basically hinting again that she is not actually a boy, but Orsino still doesn't catch it. He gives her a precious jewel and tells her to give it to Olivia and not take no for an answer. He is still determined to win Olivia's heart, completely unaware that Viola loves him deeply and is hiding her real identity. Act 2 Scene 5 takes place in Olivia's garden. So in this scene, Sir Toby, Sir Andrew and Fabian are all set to carry out Maria's prank on Malvolio. They are hiding in Olivia's garden, full of excitement. Fabian is especially eager because he too has a grudge against Malvolio. Apparently, Malvolio complained to Olivia about him for enjoying bear biting, which was a popular sport back then. Sir Toby says, very soon Malvolio will be the one getting mocked, like the bear in the sport. Then Maria enters in a hurry, makes sure they are properly hidden behind a box tree, and places the fake love letter, pretending it's from Olivia, right on Malvolio's path. Now Malvolio enters, all full of himself. He is already imagining that Olivia might be in love with him. He says Maria hinted at it, and even Olivia once said she might marry someone like him. So he starts dreaming big, calling himself Count Malvolio, and thinking about how powerful he will become after marrying Olivia. He imagines wearing fancy velvet robes and giving orders to officers, and even insulting Sir Toby by saying he is wasting time with foolish people like Sir Andrew. Malvolio's head is full of pride and silly fantasies. Then he sees the letter and picks it up. He is fully convinced that it's from Olivia. The handwriting, the seal, everything seems real to him. He reads the poem part, and even though some lines are unclear, he interprets everything in his favor. The line "MOAI doth sway my life" confuses him. But since all those letters are in his name, he convinces himself it must be about him. Next, there is a prose section in the letter that gives him instructions. Wear yellow stockings, gross gartered, act more proudly, be rude to servants, and most importantly, smile a lot. The letter says if he does all this, it will prove his love. Malvolio is totally fooled. He believes Olivia truly loves him, and he happily decides to do everything mentioned. After he leaves, the pranksters come out from hiding. Sir Toby, Sir Andrew, Fabian, and Maria. They are all thrilled, laughing like anything. Sir Toby is so impressed. He even says he might marry Maria for being so smart. Maria reminds them that Olivia actually hates yellow stockings and gross garters, and she doesn't like people smiling all the time, especially since she is in a sad mood nowadays. So when Malvolio shows up like that, Olivia will be totally shocked and annoyed. All of them walk away together, eagerly waiting to see Malvolio make a total fool of himself. Act 3, Scene 1 takes place in Olivia's garden. In this scene, Viola comes to Olivia's house as Cesario once again to deliver a message from Duke Orsino. Before meeting Olivia, she runs into Feste, the jester. Now Feste may be a fool by title, but he is very clever with words. He and Viola have a friendly little chat full of jokes and playful teasing. Viola enjoys the banter, but she gently tells Feste that sometimes too much wordplay can get a bit inappropriate. She reminds him that he is Olivia's fool. Feste, as always, has a clever answer. He says Viola doesn't really have a fool, and she won't have one until she gets married. He also jokingly calls himself a corrupter of words, showing how he loves twisting language just for fun. Their conversation has a sweet and respectful tone. Feste even says he would enjoy chatting more if Cesario were a bit older and had a beard. That makes Viola slip up a little. She says she's almost sick for one, meaning she misses having a beard, since she's actually a woman in disguise. She quickly catches herself. Then Feste goes inside to tell Olivia that Cesario is here. While Viola waits, she starts thinking about Feste's job. She realizes that playing the fool actually needs a lot of intelligence and emotional understanding. A fool has to know how to make people laugh, but also when to be careful. She admires Feste for doing it so well. Just then, Sir Toby and Sir Andrew arrive. They try to joke around too, but their humor is more silly than smart. They are both very impressed by Cesario's charm and grace. And Sir Andrew even says that young man is a real courtier. Soon, Olivia enters with Maria. She quickly sends the others away because she wants to talk to Cesario privately. She is very direct. She asks for his hand and his name. Cesario says he is her servant, but Olivia says, "No, you are Orsino's servant." Cesario responds cleverly, "Since Orsino loves you and I serve him, then in a way, I serve you too." But Olivia's heart is not in Orsino at all. She can't stop thinking about Cesario. She even admits that the whole ring situation was just a trick to bring him back. She really wants Cesario to love her back, but all Viola can say is, "I pity you." That's all she can offer. Olivia is heartbroken, but she handles it with grace. She says it would have been better if she had fallen for someone more noble. Still, she doesn't blame him. She just wishes he could love her. As Cesario gets ready to leave, she asks him to stay for a moment. She wants to know what he really thinks of her. Both of them hint that they are not being completely open about themselves. Then Olivia finally speaks her heart. "I love you so much that even your pride and cleverness can't hide my love." But Cesario still doesn't give her any hope. She says she has one heart, and no woman will ever be the mistress of it, only she herself. Then she gently says goodbye, adding that she won't return with Orsino's message again. Even then, Olivia isn't ready to give up. She softly says, "Come again. Maybe Cesario's heart might change." Act 3, Scene 2. This scene takes place at Olivia's house. Sir Andrew is quite upset and frustrated. He feels like no matter what he does, Olivia is not interested in him at all. What's bothering him more is that he thinks Olivia is giving more attention to Cesario than to him. He even says he saw Olivia and Cesario together in the orchard, and from the way she behaved, he is convinced she is in love with Cesario. But Fabian tries to cheer him up. He says, No, you are misunderstanding it. Maybe Olivia is just pretending to like Cesario to make you jealous." He even says Sir Andrew should have challenged Cesario to a fight right then and there, something to show he is brave and manly. Otherwise, people will think Sir Andrew is total coward. Sir Toby also supports the idea. He says Sir Andrew should write a letter challenging Cesario to a duel. They will make sure the letter gets delivered. Sir Andrew agrees immediately and rushes off to get a paper and pen. As soon as he leaves, Sir Toby and Fabian start laughing. They know both Sir Andrew and Cesario are not fighters at all, so nothing serious is going to happen. They are just enjoying the drama and having fun at Sir Toby's expense. Then Maria enters with an update about Malvolio. She says their prank is working perfectly. Malvolio has followed every silly instruction in the fake love letter. He is wearing those horrible yellow stockings, tied cross-garters, and he is grinning so hard that his face has more lines than a map of the Indies. Basically, he is making a complete fool of himself, thinking it will impress Olivia. Act 3, Scene 3 takes place at a street in the city. In this scene, Sebastian, Viola's twin brother, is walking through the streets near Duke Orsino's palace, along with Antonio, the sea captain who saved him earlier. Now, Antonio is being super caring and tells Sebastian that He just couldn't let him roam around Illyria all alone. Even though it's quite risky for Antonio, because he's not on good terms with the Duke and could get arrested if anyone recognizes him. He says he came only out of concern and friendship. Sebastian feels really grateful and appreciates Antonio's loyalty. Antonio then says it's better if he stays hidden, just to be safe. Before they part ways, he gives his purse to Sebastian so he can explore the town properly and buy whatever he needs. They both decide to meet again in about an hour at the Elephant Inn. So Sebastian goes off to look around the city with Antonio's purse in hand, and Antonio goes to keep himself out of trouble. It's a small but important scene that shows how kind and loyal Antonio is. Act 3, Scene 4. The scene opens in Olivia's garden. Olivia is waiting for Cesario and feeling both excited and nervous. She is thinking about how to treat him, maybe give him some grand hospitality. But at the same time, she worries if he might think she is trying to win his love with gifts or attention. She wonders where Malvolio is, since he is usually calm and proper and could help her settle her nerves. Then, suddenly, Malvolio appears. But he is looking completely different. He is not wearing his usual black clothes and he is smiling too much, acting strangely. He is dressed in yellow stockings with cross garters, exactly as Maria mentioned in the fake love letter. Malvolio thinks Olivia is in love with him. So, he starts quoting lines from that letter and behaves very confidently. Olivia is confused and surprised by this change in him and starts thinking that he may have gone mad. Just then, Cesario arrives. Olivia wants to spend time with him, so she asks Maria to take care of Malvolio. Meanwhile, Malvolio keeps being rude and arrogant with Sir Toby, Maria and Fabian. They get annoyed and decide to lock him in a dark room to treat his madness. This was common in those days. Sir Andrew then comes in with the letter, challenging Cesario to a duel. But the letter is full of silly and dramatic words. Sir Toby finds it very funny and says he will deliver the message directly instead of giving the letter. Maria adds that Cesario is inside with Olivia, and Sir Toby encourages Sir Andrew to act brave and loud when he sees Cesario. Afterward, Olivia meets Cesario again and gently tries to show her love for him. Cesario, as always, politely turns her down and continues to speak of Orsino's love for her. Still, Olivia gives Cesario a lovely brooch with her picture on it and then leaves. Now the confusion begins. Sir Toby and Fabian stop Cesario and say Sir Andrew wants to fight him. Cesario is shocked and scared. Viola is not used to fighting. Sir Toby makes it worse by saying Sir Andrew is a dangerous man who has killed people before. Cesario begs Sir Toby to speak to him and figure out what the issue is. Then Sir Toby goes to Sir Andrew and tells him Cesario is also very fierce. Now both men are scared of each other. Sir Andrew even says he will give his horse just to avoid the fight. At this moment, Antonio arrives. He mistakes Cesario for Sebastian, Viola's twin brother, and steps in to defend him from Sir Andrew. Sir Toby is ready to fight Antonio, but a group of officers comes in to arrest him. He is a wanted man in Illyria. Before being taken away, Antonio asks Cesario to return the purse he had given him. Viola, of course, knows nothing about it. Antonio feels deeply hurt and thinks Sebastian has betrayed him. He expresses his pain and disappointment, believing that the person he cared for has turned ungrateful. Viola is shocked. She realizes that Antonio mistook her for her brother, and this makes her believe that Sebastian might actually be alive. She feels hopeful and exits quietly. Meanwhile, Sir Toby and Fabian convince Sir Andrew that Cesario is a coward, and the three of them rush off to continue their prank. Act 4, Scene 1. This scene happens right outside Olivia's house. Sebastian is walking around when he runs into Feste, the jester. But Feste thinks Sebastian is Cesario. Feste keeps saying that Olivia sent him to bring him, and Sebastian gets really irritated. He is like, "You are such a foolish guy." And to get rid of him, he gives him some money. He even warns him, "If you don't leave me alone, I will give you something worse than money." Now just then, Sir Andrew enters with Sir Toby and Fabian. Sir Andrew still thinks Sebastian is Cesario and attacks him, trying to slap him, but Sebastian doesn't stay quiet. He gives it back properly. Sir Andrew gets shocked, and Sebastian is like, "What's wrong with all these people? Are they all mad?" Feste says he is going to go and inform Olivia about this mess. Meanwhile, Sir Toby tries to grab Sebastian to stop him, but Sebastian fights back. Then Olivia arrives on the scene. She sees the whole mess and immediately scolds Sir Toby. She tells him to get lost along with the others. Then she turns to Sebastian, thinking that he is Cesario, and apologizes sweetly for her uncle's rude behavior. Now Sebastian is completely confused. He has no idea why this beautiful woman is treating him so lovingly, but at the same time, he is totally charmed by her. He wonders if he is dreaming, and if it is a dream, he doesn't want to wake up. Then comes the big moment. Olivia asks him to come with her and even hints at marrying him. And without thinking much, Sebastian says, "Yes, madam, I will." And they both rush off to find a priest and get married. Act 4 Scene 2 takes place at Olivia's house. So in this scene, the prank on poor Malvolio continues. Remember earlier, Viola told the other to take care of him because she thought he had gone mad, mainly because of how he was smiling non-stop, wearing yellow stockings, and acting all strange after reading that fake love letter. Now, Maria and Feste are planning to have some more fun at his expense. Feste, the fool, decides to dress up as a priest. He calls himself Sir Topas and goes to visit Malvolio, who's been locked up in a dark room like some mad person. Malvolio is actually feeling quite hopeful when he hears a voice. He thinks someone finally come to help him. But poor guy, Feste, in his fake priest voice, starts talking in all kinds of confusing Latin and philosophical nonsense, just to mess with his head even more. Malvolio keeps saying, "I'm not mad," but Feste keeps insisting he is. Then Feste steps out for a minute and Sir Toby comes in, looking a bit worried. He tells Feste that maybe it's time to stop the prank because it's getting too risky. He's afraid that if Olivia finds out how they have been treating Malvolio, she might throw them out of the house. But Feste is still enjoying the joke and doesn't stop. He goes back to Malvolio, this time using his real voice, and plays another trick, pretending that there are two people talking to him. Malvolio is totally confused and frustrated now. Finally, he begs for some paper, ink, and a light so he can write to Olivia and prove that he is not mad. Feste agrees to get those things for him, and that's how the scene ends. Malvolio still locked up, but now trying to find a way to defend himself. Act 4 Scene 3 takes place in Olivia's garden. In this scene, Sebastian is sitting in Olivia's garden, feeling both happy and confused. He just can't believe what's happening. A noble woman like Olivia has fallen for him, giving him a beautiful pearl and is treating him with so much love and affection. It all feels a bit unreal. He keeps looking at the pearl, just to remind himself that this is not a dream. At the same time, he is worried about Antonio. They had planned to meet at Elephant Inn, but Antonio never came. Sebastian wonders if something went wrong or if Antonio is still at the inn. He really wishes Antonio were with him right now to help him make sense of all this. He even starts questioning himself. Is Olivia mad, or am I going mad? Everything's moving so fast. He is not sure what to believe. Then, Olivia enters with the priest. She tells Sebastian that she wants him to come with her to the private chapel and marry her right away. She says they will keep it quiet for now and announce it publicly later with a proper ceremony. Sebastian doesn't hesitate. He agrees, and they leave together to get married. Act 5. So this is the final act. Everything happens outside Olivia's house. Feste the clown has Malvolio's letter in hand. Malvolio wrote it to prove he is not mad, but Feste is in no hurry to deliver it, and Fabian is trying to stop him from reading it aloud. Then Duke Orsino enters with Viola, who is still dressed as Cesario. Orsino has a little fun with Feste, gives him a coin, and tells him to bring Olivia out to meet him. At this point, Antonio is brought by officers. Viola says he is the man who defended her during a fight earlier. Orsino recognizes Antonio as a former pirate who once attacked his ships, but still respects him for being brave. Antonio, however, is upset and tells Orsino that he saved Cesario's life and gave him money, but now this ungrateful boy is ignoring him. Of course, he doesn't know that Cesario is actually Viola, and she is just as confused as everyone else. Just then, Olivia walks in and straight away starts accusing Cesario of ignoring her. Orsino is heartbroken and furious. He thinks Cesario has betrayed him by stealing Olivia's love, and in anger, he threatens to kill him. But Viola remains calm and says she would gladly die for Orsino, whom she truly loves. Olivia is shocked and calls the priest who married her to Cesario. The priest confirms the marriage, and now Orsino is completely confused. He thinks Cesario betrayed him and married Olivia behind his back. Before anyone can figure things out, Sir Andrew and Sir Toby barge in, all injured and complaining that Cesario attacked him. But Viola has no idea what they are talking about. Then finally, Sebastian enters. The moment he appears, everyone starts noticing that Cesario and Sebastian look exactly the same. The confusion begins to clear up. Sebastian and Viola recognize each other as twins who were separated long ago. Viola now reveals her true identity, that she is actually a woman, and says she will prove it by showing them her woman's clothes, which are with a sea captain. Now, Olivia realizes she actually married Sebastian, not Cesario, and she is totally fine with it. Orsino, seeing Viola for who she really is, also realizes that he loves her, and he proposes marriage. Malvolio finally enters with his letter, thinking Olivia wrote it, but Olivia instantly recognizes the handwriting. It was Maria who wrote it as a prank. Fabian confesses everything, the prank, the forged letter, and that Maria and Sir Toby are now married. Olivia feels bad for Malvolio and promises to make it right. Orsino happily announces his plans to marry Viola. In the end, everyone heads off happily, and Feste stays back to sing a thoughtful little song about life, growing up, and how things don't always go perfectly, but we keep moving forward. Let's see the overall summary of the play in short. Viola, the main character, is shipwrecked and believes her twin brother Sebastian has drowned. She disguises herself as a man named Cesario and joins Duke Orsino's service. Orsino is in love with Lady Olivia and sends Cesario to win her heart. But instead, Olivia falls in love with Cesario, not knowing he is actually Viola in disguise. Viola, on the other hand, starts falling for Orsino. So now, there is a big love triangle. Sebastian, who was actually alive, shows up in Illyria without knowing about Viola's disguise. This causes a lot of confusion because Olivia, thinking Sebastian is Cesario, ends up marrying him. Meanwhile, Malvolio, who works for Olivia, gets tricked into thinking she loves him, and some of the other characters like Maria and Feste play pranks on him. In the end, all the misunderstandings are cleared up when Viola and Sebastian are reunited. Orsino proposes to Viola and they are all happy. Malvolio, though, is left angry, vowing revenge for the prank played on him. The play ends on a light note with everyone else celebrating their newfound happiness. Let's see the themes in this play. Love as a cause of suffering. In 12th Night, love is the main thing running the show. Everyone is falling in love with someone, but it's not all happy and rosy. Shakespeare shows how love can actually be painful. People like Orsino and Olivia literally suffer because of love. Orsino keeps saying He is hungry for love, but nothing satisfies him. Olivia says, love feels like a plague. Viola too is secretly in love with Orsino, but she can't tell him because she is in disguise as a man. So you see, love in this play is not just cute and romantic, it also causes headache, confusion, and even a little madness. The uncertainty of gender and identity. Another major thing is how confusing gender can be. Viola dresses up like a man to protect herself, but that leads to a big mess. Olivia falls for her thinking she is a guy, and Orsino seems to be getting attracted to her even before he knows she is a girl. Shakespeare plays with gender roles here. He is showing how love and attraction don't always follow rules. Even Antonio, who is in love with Sebastian, doesn't get a happy ending. The play sort of hints at all these different forms of love and attraction, but in the end, it settles everything into a neat boy-girl couples like society expects. The folly of ambition. Malvolio is the perfect example of someone who wants to rise above his level. He dreams of marrying Olivia and becoming rich and important, but the others trick him and make him look like a fool. His ambition makes him blind to reality. But interestingly, Maria, another servant, manages to marry Sir Toby and improve her status. So, Shakespeare is kind of showing that ambition is not always bad, but it depends on how you go about it. Love and desire as irrational forces. Another thing is how characters fall in love so suddenly and without reason. Olivia decides to marry Sebastian within minutes of meeting him. Viola gets caught in a love triangle and feels stuck. Everyone seems to be going with the flow of fate or luck. No one is thinking logically when it comes to love. That unpredictability gives the play its fun, chaotic vibe. Disguise and deception. Disguises and lies are everywhere too. Viola's disguise creates most of the confusion. She is stuck because if she tells the truth, everything might fall apart. Then you have the prank on Malvolio, which is basically a big lie. Disguises help people escape or survive, but they also cause a lot of trouble. Gender and sexuality. The play talks about gender and sexuality in a pretty bold way for its time. Viola is not fully seen as a man or a woman, and that actually makes her more attractive to others. The relationship between Orsino and Viola has hints that Orsino might have feelings for her even when she looks like a guy. So Shakespeare is a kind of saying that love doesn't always fit neatly into labels. But even after all this, the play ends with everyone going back to their traditional roles and couples, as if all the confusion was just temporary. That's all about 12th Night. Hope you found this video helpful. Do like, share and subscribe for more videos. Thank you for watching.